Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. WWE seemingly has plans for Fatu and Roman Reigns, as per a recent report. There seems to be a lot of focus on Fatu's career from the company at this point in time. Fatu's arrival saw him immediately become a huge attraction in the Stamford-based company. Not only has he been a destructive force as part of the bloodline under Solo Sikoa, but he's also now found his own rhythm, and it seems that WWE has more than a few plans for him. Fightful Select reported on the matter and said that Fatu's confrontation with Roman Reigns was not an accident at all. Those in creative and the higher-ups all expect him to be a top star in the company and emerge from the bloodline story as such. It appears that the star could be involved in huge plans with Roman Reigns, but the nature of those ideas was not made clear by the report. Previously, those in charge of WWE had passed on signing Fatu, but the moment he became available this time, the current regime decided to sign him up immediately. The report also said his appearances and interactions have been carefully crafted since he arrived in the Stamford-based promotion. WWE is well aware of how the Samoan werewolf is viewed as a top star by the audience as well. For months, WWE fans had speculated about the growing tensions within the bloodline. The once dominant faction, led by Roman Reigns, had seen cracks form as Solo Sikoa began consolidating his own power. But the moment that truly changed everything came when Fatu, one of the most feared Samoan wrestlers in the world, stepped into WWE and confronted the tribal chief. At first, many believed Fatu's arrival was a shocking coincidence, an unplanned disruption to Roman's rule. But now, reports have surfaced that Fatu facing Roman Reigns was never an accident. It was part of a much bigger plan all along. It all started on a high-stakes episode of SmackDown. Roman Reigns had returned after a brief hiatus, looking to reassert his dominance. He was flanked by Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso, both acting as his enforcers, while Paul Heyman nervously played his role as the wise man. The tribal chief stood in the ring, basking in his own glory, reminding the WWE Universe that no one could challenge his seat at the head of the table. That's when the lights dimmed. A chilling new entrance theme played, and Fatu walked onto the stage. The WWE Universe erupted. The name Fatu carried weight among hardcore wrestling fans. As a member of the legendary Inoue family, he had built his reputation outside WWE as one of the most vicious, unrelenting forces in the business. A former MLW World Champion, Fatu was known for his unpredictable nature. He was the kind of competitor who didn't care about rules, alliances, or even his own body. As he stepped into the ring, he locked eyes with Roman Reigns. The tribal chief barely flinched, but there was an undeniable shift in the atmosphere. This wasn't just another challenger. This was family, and he had come for Roman's throne. According to multiple insider reports, Fatu's arrival in WWE wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. WWE officials had been planning this story for months, with the goal of making Fatu a central figure in the bloodline saga leading up to WrestleMania 41. Sources close to WWE creative claim that Triple H and Paul Heyman personally pushed for Fatu's involvement, believing that he brought a unique presence to the storyline, one that could shake the bloodline to its very core. Solo Sikoa had been the wildcard in the bloodline story for months. While Jimmy Uso remained Roman's loyal, but often disposable, right-hand man, Solo had grown increasingly defiant. Insiders reveal that WWE's long-term plan is for Solo to side with Fatu, positioning them as the new force in the bloodline, a younger, hungrier, and far more dangerous faction. The seeds of this betrayal were planted when Solo first started making decisions without Roman's approval. He recruited Jacob Fatu without informing Reigns, setting the stage for an inevitable war within the family. Reports indicate that WWE's ending for this storyline is a WrestleMania 41 main event showdown between Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu. The match would mark one of the most personal rivalries in WWE history, not just a battle for championship gold, but for legacy, respect, and the title of head of the table. WWE officials see this as a way to freshen up Roman's character arc, potentially leading to his biggest loss yet. There's also talk that this could be the beginning of Roman's exit as a full-time performer, allowing him to transition into a part-time attraction. A WWE official reportedly told sources, "Jacob Fatu is not here to be a one-off. He is here to take over. This has been in the works for months, and when it's all said and done, fans will understand just how big this moment really is." With Jacob Fatu in the mix, the Bloodline's future has never been more uncertain. Jimmy Uso, with Solo and Jacob Fatu forming their own alliance, where does that leave Jimmy? Could we see Jimmy finally turn on Roman after years of abuse? Or does he remain a pawn in the Tribal Chief's empire? Solo Sikoa's true loyalty. Right now, Solo seems to be playing both sides, acknowledging Roman while also working with Jacob. But at some point, he will have to choose. The Bloodline versus the Bloodline. Insiders believe WWE is considering a Bloodline Civil War match at SummerSlam, where Roman's faction collides with Solo and Jacob's new alliance. Jacob Fatu speaks, "I'm here for the throne." Shortly after his WWE debut, Jacob Fatu spoke in a rare interview, making his intentions clear. "People know my family. People know what we've done in this business. But what they don't know is that I was never gonna come here and take orders from anyone. Not from Roman, not from nobody. I'm here for the throne." Jacob Fatu wasn't just another Bloodline member. He was here to dethrone the Tribal Chief. What this means for Roman Reigns' legacy. Roman Reigns has dominated WWE for years. He has defeated every major challenger thrown his way. Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, and countless others. This isn't just about a championship match. This is about a new era. If Roman loses to Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania 41, it could mark the end of his reign as the top guy in WWE. Reports suggest that Roman might take a long hiatus after WrestleMania, possibly setting up Jacob Fatu as the new dominant force in WWE. Jacob Fatu's arrival was not an accident. It was part of a master plan, a calculated move that WWE has been setting up for months. With WrestleMania 41 looming, the stage is set for one of the most explosive family battles in WWE history. The question is no longer if Roman Reigns will lose his grip on the Bloodline. It's when. And when it happens, one thing is certain, Jacob Fatu will be waiting. WWE seemingly has plans for Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns, as per a recent report. There seems to be a lot of focus on Fatu's career from the company at this point in time. Jacob Fatu's arrival saw him immediately become a huge attraction in the Stamford-based company. Not only has he been a destructive force as part of the Bloodline under Solo Sikoa, but he's also now found his own rhythm, and it seems that WWE has more than a few plans for him. Fightful Select reported on the matter and said that Jacob Fatu's confrontation with Roman Reigns was not an accident at all. Those in creative and the higher-ups all expect him to be a top star in the company and emerge from the Bloodline story as such. It appears that the star could be involved in huge plans with Roman Reigns, but the nature of those ideas was not made clear by the report. Previously, those in charge of WWE had passed on signing Fatu, but the moment he became available this time, the current regime decided to sign him up immediately. The report also said his appearances and interactions have been carefully crafted since he arrived in the Stamford-based promotion. WWE is well aware of how the Simone Werewolf is viewed as a top star by the audience as well.